Good morning to everyone and welcome to another update on the market. For today, I decided to cover USD versus Japanese yen. I will speak about the gold market, crude oil and Bitcoin versus US dollar. I will start with the USD versus Japanese yen first. So what I found, let's start from a daily time frame. We had an outside day closing on the high on Friday, like a range expansion to the upside. And this morning we can see that market is trading overall in a pullback mode. We can see in the hourly time frame we might have this ABC kind of corrective pattern. We can also see that there is a strong momentum, very impulsive momentum that kicked in on Friday. So I do expect after the correction that we can have another potential to retake and basically trade above the previous day high, but I will say to at least retest 136.56. And speaking of the weekly time frame, we still didn't test that 137.50 area, 138 area. So there is still plenty of the chance for the price to go higher. Watch for potential end of the downside correction, maybe this potential like ABC, and then for the buyers to, if we see the sellers if we see the sellers lost power or some kind of divergences start to show up on a 5, 15 or 30 minute time frame, or some bigger reversal from ABC, then there is a potential for the upside moment and maybe for potential test or even break of the Friday's high at 136.55. Again, the higher time frame objective is set at 137.50 and 138. Speaking of the gold market, we can see that gold is trading already for a couple of days to the downside. The momentum, we can see that we had some divergences. We can see here also in the hourly time frame, but overall market didn't even trade into the previous swing high on the 30-minute or on the hourly time frame, which is at 1814. So it's a far away from changing the trend dynamic from bear to bull, and from my perspective the sellers are still in control. So there is even chance for the downside movement, or maybe that today we can also have some some kind of the consolidation day. But definitely not, I don't see the change in the trend behavior, so the downside is still in control, and with the key I will say level from Friday around 1814. So watch for the price action around that area. If we can basically trade below 1806 and hold below, there is a chance for the lower prices, but for the prices towards 1786 or even 1775. Speaking of the crude oil, we had an update on Friday with a tail. We left the tail. We have the rate of change flip to the downside. Market is pretty chaotic here. It's trading. There's a lot of randomness going on, especially today. And for me, market is still in this bigger range. You can see in the weekly frame that 82.30 is the key resistance zone and key support zone around 72. Overall, market is still trading in a multi-week sideways condition and trading range. So I'm still watching for the bigger breakout to confirm the further direction. Again, keep in mind here this rate of change with a flip to the downside. So any kind of signs for the downside, some kind of divergences from the bearish divergences or the lower highs, lower lows on intraday, we might see some even further downside rotation. The resistance level is set at 76.95 and at 77.35. And speaking of the Bitcoin, there is a market finally broke this key support zone, which held around 23,750 was a key support zone. There was a breakout there, and there was a retest on Friday of that support zone, which became resistance. We can also see that there is a rate to change flip to the downside, and from my perspective there is a chance for the lower prices towards the 22,700 or maybe even towards the 21,500. So watch for potential downside movement on the Bitcoin. That will be all for this update. I hope that you did enjoy. Trade safe as always, and speak to you from tomorrow morning.